Now, I usually script my videos, for better or for worse. I don't really like going on tangents or monologues, I guess. Um, I like to have all my thoughts, concise and neat and orderly. But this update has been such a train wreck and an absolute disaster. And there's too many areas to talk about why this update is so garbage that I just need to put it all in one video. We got to talk about the state of Wizard101 as it is right now, and this update that's in test realm that I've seen some people in the community glaze beyond belief. Like, I dare post anything negative about this update, and I get like comments saying how great this update is and how good more stuff is. We need more content, more. There's a saying called "less is more," or better yet, quality over quantity, that I think definitely summarizes this update, because this update was KI just trying to spaz out on as much content as they can possibly get out without ever considering what the effect that this content has on the player base. We're going to split this video up into multiple segments. It's not even scripted, as I said, so I'm just going to be rambling about whatever. But the first section we're going to be talking about is the main appeal of this update. We're going to be talking about Senopolis itself. Now, I played through a little bit of Senopolis with Firestarter. Me and him streamed today, actually. And I uploaded my video today as well, or yesterday, just depending on how you look at it. But yeah, we streamed it. We went through most of it. We didn't finish it, obviously. But here's the problem with Senopolis. The gear, the Kansu gear, is the exact same as the Nightmare gear. Okay, that's fine. It's an alternative, right? Okay, at least we get a level cap increase. Nope, we don't get a single level from questing. We're still level 170. Okay, that's not that bad. Maybe there's some, something that you can get out of questing to Senopolis. No, absolutely nothing. It's basically just 6 hours. Some of it's bugged, I've heard, so I don't even think it's probably a little bit more than 6 hours, honestly, of just straight questing that you have to do, by the way. You're not allowed to progress unless you do the questing in Senopolis. So when they release a new world next year, you have to have done Senopolis. It's 6 hours, 7 hours, of basically an entire world length of just nothing. You're just questing through this world, and you get nothing out of it. You get nothing in return. You get absolutely nothing. Nothing. What's the point? What is the entire point of questing through Senopolis when there is no benefit, there is no incentive, there is nothing? We were genuinely bored today, me and Firestarter, questing through this world. And I hate that that's the case, because when Wallaroo released, I loved it. I loved Wallaroo. I felt like I was having fun. Lemuria, even though it was all reused assets, basically, I felt like I was having fun. Novus, same thing. There are problems with every single one of those updates, don't get me wrong. But at least the world part actually felt good. Senopolis just doesn't. It's basically just Krakatopia again, but worse, because you spend half of your time in the same tunnel that you do in Krakatopia already. It's one of the reasons why Krakatopia sucks in the first place, in my opinion. Sorry if you're a Krakatopia fan, but it's one of the reasons why I think it sucks. It's because you spend your entire time questing in this one tunnel that's just different colors every single time, and that's the same thing they do in Senopolis, except now it's life and death, I guess. That's the whole gimmick of Senopolis, is that's it. Okay? But whatever. Maybe we can forgive Senopolis for being terrible. Maybe. Okay? Let's talk about the second biggest thing in this update. We got Spell Fusion. I've been very vocal on why Spell Fusion sucks. But I'll go over it here. If you don't know, there's a new system in Wiz where you can now fuse your spells. Basically, you can pick a weaving scroll, you can pick a secondary scroll. I have it set to balance right now, but you can basically go to a tree right here. You can do it, select weaving scroll.
Would be Death Weaver,
sure.
sign up here.
Shush, please. I'm gonna mute you because you're being loud, but whatever. You can basically just train spells. I chose Death, so basically I have to rank up or whatever, and I can do weaving spells. Now let's talk about magic weaving in the first place. Notice how I can't train any of these yet. I have to actually, rank up to rank. I have to go from rank 1 to rank 2 to rank 3. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. The quests to do these are the most painful and most freaking grindy quests for absolutely no reason. No reason at all. To rank up the magic weaving system, they make you do these quests where you basically a polymorph into like this random thing, depends on what weaving school you pick, and you have to do these like PvP fights, but they take forever. This is a sped up video which you're seeing on the screen right now. This is how long it took me to do one fight. And this is like a sigil, so there's like multiple fights in this instance. It takes you so long, and I've heard in some of the sigils or whatever, some of the enemies, they spam shield. So literally, you're trying to fight them, but they'll just spam you with shields or weaknesses or whatever. So it's so tedious and so annoying for absolutely no reason. All you're getting out of this is 1 or 2 spells, by the way. You're getting nothing out of this besides like 1 spell. It's so tedious for no reason. I've talked to quite a few people about the new magic weaving quest lines to rank up. By the way, in test realm right now, it's actually easier than it's supposed to be. They actually made it a little bit easier in test realm because they thought that people would want to be able to do them efficiently, I guess. So it's actually supposed to be harder when they release it to live, which is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand what the thought process was in that decision at all. Honestly, these devs are probably smoking the same shit that old Sage is on, because that makes absolutely no sense to me. Why is it that we have to spend hours grinding this shitty ass system that doesn't even give you your own school's spells? I said this already when they did the whole dev stream about this, when Cam and Ratbeard literally told everyone that, oh, you're not going to be able to train your own school's spells. What is the point of the system? What is the point? There is no point, because the system is garbage. Why would I want to train these off-school spells? By the way, I can only train one of them, so I'm only getting 1 fusion spell out of this. Let's say I'm my school's ice. I only get Chillzilla. That's the only spell I get out of this. I mean, you had six ice spells that I can't even learn, so it's not even like I get anything out of it. But you add all these new spells into the game, and for what? For what? The entire appeal of this update is like, oh my god, look, it's 100 new spells. But I'm sorry, it's more like maybe like 20 or 30 new spells. Because half the spells you're never going to be able to use. And this leads to another thing. What is the point of spell fusion? So basically, they added all these new spells, these 40 new spells. And do you want to know how many your wizard gets to train? 1. Your wizard gets to train exactly 1 new spell. Out of all of these 40 plus new spells, your wizard gets 1 spell. They put that much amount of time, that much effort into a feature that you only get 1 spell out of. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think that's good game design. I really don't. A lot of people are going to say that this is about advanced content, that the spell fusion is only intended for advanced content. It's only intended for PvP. You don't need to learn any of these spells. You're a PvEer. You don't do PvP. You don't care. What's the point? I want a dual school. I want to use my Lorm. I want to use my Life and Storm Wizard to do PvP and do raids. Okay, whatever. Right? But even in PvP, you have to acknowledge that you only get 1 spell basically out of the system. Maybe like I guess you get 2 because you get whatever these are. I guess you get like 2 spells out of the system. That's not very worth it in my opinion. I don't think that makes much sense at all. But regardless of that, you realize there's a very small amount of people that PvP, a very small pool of players that PvP. I would say actively there's maybe high estimate 100 people in queue, right? Do you really think you're gonna see all 40 of these new spells in PvP? Do you really think so? People are going to find what the best school is to dual school with. Storm is going to have a definitively best school to dual school with. Whether you like it or not, maybe it'll be Ice, maybe it'll be Balance, maybe it'll be Death, who knows what it'll be. But it will be something. So, basically, every Storm Wizard in queue in PvP is going to have the same spell. Meaning that if this is the case for all 7 schools, they've added 7 new spells. Which makes no sense, because you added all these spells for what? For no reason? Why is it that only I can learn Grimzilla? Why can't Death learn Grimzilla? Why can't Death learn this? Why can't Death learn any of these? I guess it would be a little bit better if they actually let us learn our own weaving spell. So for example, if I weaved into Death, I could learn Grimzilla, and if I go over here, if I go over here to Surge here, I could learn the Death spell. She trains, I could learn Joltergeist. That would make more sense if I could learn 2 spells for being a Death weaving school. But no, this is for Death only, and the other one is for Storm only. So it just doesn't make any sense in that regard either. It doesn't make any sense why anyone would use this system, period. Even in advanced content. It doesn't make any sense. None of these spells are particularly that great for raids. Yeah, they're cool. Spell Fusion is a very cool system. I would be lying if I said it wasn't. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I was excited when they first teased Spell Fusion. It's one of the coolest things that I've seen be added into this game. But that doesn't mean it's useful. This entire system is completely useless in my opinion. I don't think it will ever be used by anyone unless it is changed, and I really hope it is changed. I wanted to make a full video on that in particular, but there's so much crap with this update that it has to all be in one video. So now we're going to go over to the Bazaar real quick. We're going to go over to the Bazaar, and we're going to talk about a massive change that will completely upend the Wizard101 economy. Okay, so we're here in the Bazaar right now with Illich Silverfist. It looks like they may have given him a haircut. I don't know. But on the surface, this is actually really cool. I was looking at this when Teststrom first released, and I was like, wow, this is actually really cool. I really like that you can now search items. I think this is a really awesome feature. But that would be very naive, because something that just broke today, that we just learned, literally just today, and it's the entire reason why I'm making this video, is that they're changing how the Bazaar's sell works. Basically, when you go to buy an item in the Bazaar, it was normally out of 100. See how there's like 100, there's the 100 here, right? It's out of 100, normally. So if we go to this, right, if we go to in the normal game, maybe I'll show on the screen, it's out of 100 items, which means that the price of the items are scaled in terms of gold out of 100. So if there's only one item in the Bazaar, obviously it's going to be a lot of gold. If there's 100, it'll be less gold. Well, now they're changing the Bazaar to be scaled out of 999 items. So let's say this 16,000 gold hat here, this 16,000 gold hat. This hat right here, let's say there was 999 of them. That means that this would now be scaled by 1,000, which means that this is now, I believe, 800% less valuable. Now, I know that might seem complicated, but basically, because they're making it so that the maximum amount of items that can actually be in the Bazaar is higher, items are now going to be less expensive. Now, on the surface, that sounds great. I don't have to pay as much for items, right? But what happens when you go to sell items? What happens when you go to, say, let's say, sell Empowers, for example? Sure, let's pretend that this is Empower. What happens when you go to sell Empowers in the Bazaar? Well, now, since it's out of 999, Empowers are going to sell for nothing. For absolutely nothing. And it's not just Empowers. Anything you sell in the Bazaar is now going to cost nothing. You're not going to get anything out of it. You should never sell items in the Bazaar again. In my opinion, the Bazaar was one of the best ways to make gold. One of the best ways. You would farm Halfang and you would farm in the Bazaar. Your Halfang farming is now completely dead. It's going to be completely dead. Nothing you sell in the Bazaar, nothing, Halfang doesn't matter anymore, because anything you get from Halfang in the Bazaar will go for maybe like 100, maybe 200 gold at most. You're better off selling that to a vendor. There's no reason you should ever sell that in the Bazaar. And it's ridiculous. Now, because now, when you want to farm gold early in the game, you don't have Blackberry Jellyfish anymore. And now you don't even have the Bazaar, you don't have Halfang farming. You have no way to get gold early on if you're a new wizard. None at all, because they completely killed Bazaar. They completely decimated the Bazaar in this update. It's ridiculous. I know it might sound complicated how I'm explaining it, so I'm going to link in the video description a video to Sauce's video on this. Sauce probably explained it much better than I could. So if you want to check out his video to get a better explanation of it, feel free to. But basically, you're going to get no gold. Everything you sell in the Bazaar is worthless. You'll get nothing out of it. You get genuinely nothing from selling in the Bazaar at all anymore. Recently, Amoplex let the community know that Joel, or Decius, really wanted to kill the Empower Black Market. Now, if you don't know what the Empower Black Market is, basically when you have couch potatoes, you get a lot of Empowers. People sell those Empowers at the bazaar for gold. So basically you get gold out of it. And what you do is you sell those Empowers. You can trade them with other wizards. If you have I don't know, 2,000 of them, for example, you trade them to another wizard. That wizard will gift you a pack, right? You trade them to someone that's worth a pack. There's an entire server called Gamma's Trading Post, which is going to be entirely obsolete. It won't even exist, I'm sure, after this update. That literally what it is it's just like a big database for how much items cost in terms of how the Wizard101 community basically values items. So basically, a pack may cost 2,000 Empowers. A month membership for Wiz may cost, I don't know, like 6,000 Empowers. It's basically just a Wizard101 economy or valuing system. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, the devs hate this system. As I said, Decius said that he doesn't want the system. He wanted to kill this system. He said he wanted it to end. He wanted to end it. Rapbeard, I know, doesn't like the system. I'm pretty sure Cam doesn't like the system either. Absolutely brain dead, by the way. I don't know why these devs have a problem with this system. You don't have a way to trade items in game. You don't have a way to transfer gold. You don't have a way to transfer reagents between wizards, like between players. You don't have any way to transfer anything. So these devs are literally removing the one form of economy that Wizard101 had for absolutely no reason. There's no reason why they need to do this. And not only that, they're gutting the entire bazaar in the process of it. So it's literally killing two birds with one stone, but instead of killing two birds with one stone, you completely destroy the entire game with one update. I can't express how disappointing this update was. It was such a horribly designed update. This isn't even getting into the problems that happened in Test Realm, where they released the update late on Monday, and then they had to take it down after an hour because there was so many server issues. This has just been a trend for KI recently. You had Krakatopia, which absolutely sucked. You had the Portal of Peril completely break the game because it wasn't designed well in Test Realm. And now you have these game-breaking updates, which KI is just putting out willy-nilly for no reason, and they're completely ruining the game in the process. I am not lying when I say that this is probably the worst state I have seen Wizard101 in. This update. This update has been, right now, the worst update I have ever played through. And I played through that update where they completely made pets 100,000 gold or whatever. They completely ruined the pet system. I played through that update. This update is worse. If this update goes to Live Realm as it is, it will probably be the worst update in Wizard101 history. And I should know, because I made an entire video based on all the Wizard101 updates, and I'm still working on the one, so stay tuned for that, I guess. But yeah, this update is horrible. I'm not even going to ask anyone to subscribe. I want all of you to go on Twitter or whatever, go ping KI, tell them to change this update, to fix this update, to fix Spell Fusion, to fix Senopolis, to fix the Bazaar. I don't really ask my community or anyone that watches my videos to do this because I think it is pretty bad to do. I think that trying to force change, I guess, or force things to change is kind of a bad thing. But I really hope that anyone that's watching this video will try to find any way to contact the devs or contact KI. Please tell them that this update cannot release as it is. This update will completely ruin the Wizard101 economy, the Wizard101 Empower Black Market, whatever. There's no incentive to play Senopolis. There is no incentive to do the fusion system. There's just nothing in this update, and it completely destroys the fundamentals that have existed in Wizard101 for the past 10 years for absolutely no reason other than to spite players that trade Empowers. Like, why? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know I got a little bit passionate, but I'm very passionate about the game and the direction the game is going. And honestly, the way that things are heading, it's not looking too good. So hopefully, KingZao changes some stuff. But yeah, you can subscribe if you want to. Thank you. Yeah, take care, everyone, and have a good rest of your day.